Right, hello. Welcome to uh, our next session of Corowned Works. This is in response to Cooley's uh, poetry. Just a quick introduction of Cooley. She is the Poet Laureate for the city of Wolverhampton, and she has recently been made up to a honorary Doctor of Letters at Wolverhampton University. Really, first of all, congratulations on all of your recent successes.
Thank you. I was really amazed when they asked me to become a doctor. I thought, what? This is, this is so. I couldn't believe it, but everybody says to me, "You deserve it." So there you go.
I'd have to say I agree with that, and I can't say I'm surprised either. I was thinking about you kind of earlier today, and I was thinking in particular of a concrete poem that you had on Disability Arts Line concerning the partition of India and Pakistan. And I was also thinking about a workshop which you did on editing and revising poetry, and putting all of these words together. But it made me create a concrete poem of my own called Of Concrete and Clay, which I'll send to you later. But I think that can demonstrate what kind of an impact your work has on people.
Yeah. Thank you for that. What when I wrote the partition poem, I thought that it's like it was just about the partition and what my grandfather and my father-in-law told me stories about it. So I wrote it down into 3 different voices, but I put a crack down the middle to represent the partition and how it hurts people, hurts communities, breaks people's homes.
Yeah, and obviously the aspect of community is really important to the two of us. And reaching out to a community of poets. Kind of Ivan and I started this project called Corowned Works, which you contributed to. Could I ask you to tell me about how you found the actual process?
I thought the process is really good because first we had to go into the workshop and write a poem while we were in the workshop, and I heard other people in the Zoom workshop, and it was like, what do I write about? And I thought that the virus was like a monster, and thought it an invisible monster. That's why I thought I'd give it a little bit of a fear in the poem. But then in the end, I thought about the elements of the universe and how I fit in that universe.
Yes, and of course, we went from a workshop to creating a film and a piece of music for your poem. Can you tell me about your feelings about that, please?
I thought the music and the video to it so good because you're hidden behind the mask, and you're walking in the streets, and think how we feel, and the music was really, really. I think it really fit into my poem, and I really hope other people like the way it went into a video.
It's interesting that you mentioned the concomitance of a mask. Like a mask is a way of confiding, a way of
Yeah,
staying safe, and it's also a form of alienation, I think. And kind of your poem is actually called Alienated. Could you tell me what alienation means to you in in a context of COVID?
yeah. When I didn't, when it was the last day of work, 23rd of March 2020, and I had no clue what this COVID would do to us. And when they said to us, we're gonna work from home, I thought, how can I work from home? I work with people. I work with as a welfare like support worker, and being a support worker, you have to support other people directly, not on the phone or then Teams came up when we were working at home, and I found it very, very difficult to adjust myself from people to virtual, and I felt like I was in prison and I couldn't get out. I'm already in prison. My cerebral palsy keeps things that I want to do. That so I've compared that my disability and my working from home. It was like prison for me, and I wanted people to think that this virus is was an alien coming from nowhere into our lives and just breaking it. And but on the other hand, we had the nature come out and eat. The goats were eating people's friends, their bushes, and like, and all those things. In comparison, it was going up and down. Our fear, but the nature was going upwards. That's what I wanted to think about when I wrote that poem.
Right, I'm interested in this face-to-face contact. I have a lot of empathy with what you're saying because I worked for 20 years as an advocate, and working as a kind of advocate, it was important to be with and sit with and talk through things with people and support the development of the story. Now, in terms of welfare rights support, would this have meant that a lot of disabled people were missing out on entitlements?
I think so, because my job was giving support to the welfare rights officers who went out to different people's houses and filled out forms and helped them to get benefits. And I think it affected the older people, disabled people, and people with mental health issues. And it's like, how do we do it over the phone or over Teams if they haven't got the ability to communicate like that? So it was difficult, and I think people did miss out on lots of benefits in that time.
Yes, of course. But it sounds like it was a nightmare for a lot of us in a lot of ways. Like we were alienated from everybody else, as your poem says. We lost out on entitlements. Entitlements are about money which can feed us. And it's interesting to me that when all of the statistics are looked at, it says forgetful deaths come through COVID, but between 60 and 66% of those deaths were actually disabled people. And so that must have had a profound effect on our community.
Yeah, I think when they kept announcing the death, it was so horrible to look at, to say somebody close to us has died, or even very far away. People are people. It was like, so. It was like, I thought death was put on the TV for us to keep thinking about death. I did not like that.
Yes, I've written poems called Countdown Death TV. But then I insisted that I would not watch this this awfulness happening in front of me. I didn't want to see from Boris Johnson every day.
That was terrible.
Like I'm getting involved in some kind of public relationships exercise out of what is in fact a tragedy. And as a tragedy, we're talking about a drama which takes me back to your poem and this idea of a monster. When I heard your reading on our Corowned film, I was struck by how powerful and dramatic your work is.
Oh, thank you for that. But when I like from experience, I like from observation, I like from the heart. That's what makes it, I think, powerful.
Yeah, I'd like to read the first part of your poem. I don't know if you have it in front of you. I have it in front of me.
I haven't. I haven't got it in front of me at the moment.
Okay,
So
so I'll read your first stanza, Alienated. Like the demon in like the demon in the closet. We don't know it's there, but it's coming. It's coming for me. It's coming for you. It's coming for everyone. And I love that. And I know the opening line, like the demon in the closet. It's something that resulted in Crippen writing an extra poem because the kind of idea of this monstrous thing reaching out, touching everyone.
yeah,
It's, it's so powerful, so scary.
I think because you know when you're children, you look at some place in the house that's scary, and it's not really scary, but you get people keep putting it in the idea in your head. It's something there, something there that will eat you up, you know. But as kids, we grow up with the idea of something in the closet or something in the another room that you're not allowed to go into.
Yeah, I always thought there was something under my bed, and I was always scared under my bed.
Yeah, under your bed, yeah, stuff like that. I think everybody grows up with that kind of feeling. So that's why I grabbed that demon first in my poem.
Okay, it's interesting to hear it comes from so that. And I know that now as an adult, uh, I can work with them kind of fear, and I can um, quite enjoy being frightened. And enjoyment is about finding a reason within all of this horror to amuse ourselves. And your poem achieves that. It says, washing our hands without reason. Oh, there are goats on our lawn.
Yeah, yeah. I thought I'll quick switch. So you get imagery in your head. So I said nice imagery.
And so it wasn't all bad. It wasn't all chaos. I mean, I know personally for me, COVID lockdown was a very important time to explore my creativity. And I really got a lot out of lockdown. And you see anything about it which where, where lockdown worked well for you?
I think because I was working from home every day, and we had to be on the dot at 8:30, otherwise we get told off by the managers. And I I think my creativity was during my lunch hour when I could just sit down for an hour and do my work and eat as I would at the same time, create my poetry, and then have an hour after work, just to get something written down. And I really enjoyed that process because I didn't have to tell anybody you know, I'm going to do something writing because I live with my extended family. I live with my in-laws, my husband, and 3 children. It's chaos. you know. So it's madness, but I think it was my choice that I had my family. So that that comes with the family, with the package, the chaos. I I had I spent more time with my family that I haven't spent before, so that was really nice getting my teenager kids growing up, watching them for a couple of hours, speaking to them, and which I didn't do while I was working out for when I and then in 2021 I had to give up my work because I had a stroke, and I had no idea. So how can I have a stroke? So I had to keep going in and out of hospital during the lockdown. I did, I really felt the fear of the hospital because of all the stuff that was going on in the in with the COVID. We had to wear masks. We had to, and I can't be dealing with this. As well as being disabled myself, and but I'm glad they sorted me out because they found out I had a hole in my heart,
Okay.
which they fixed later on. So I've been in and out of hospital, having scans, MRIs. It's madness. So during that time, I had to give my work up, and that was a heartbreaking thing. I love working, and I've worked for 32 years in the council, and at the same time, when I stopped my work, I was I was having a new book called A Wonder Woman out.
Yeah.
Get to put all my work into my new anthology. So I think lockdown was a bit like up, down, up, and down. It was all crazy. But at the end of it, I thought to myself, thank God I can concentrate on myself now and my family now that I'm not working. So that's when I got last year. I was asked about if I wanted to become the next poet laureate. So, so it all fell into place. So if I'd been working in the council full time and poet laureate, I couldn't have done it.
No. But it's interesting what you say about hospitals, because hospitals, institutions, nursing homes, as psychiatric hospitals at this time, it just wasn't a safe place for any of us. And interestingly, talking about institutions, this is something I was thinking about today, kind of knowing I had to interview you. Was I used to travel into Wolverhampton on a 74, I think it was, from Wednesbury. I'd get off at St. Peter's Square in front of that big church, and I'd catch another bus. And that kind of bus would kind of be a school bus, and it would take me to Kingswood School, which was labelled in those days as a school for delicate children. Right, and whilst the institution was a bad and an abusive place for me, it also had a lot about it. It was on the Kingswood Common. I was less ill. I was able to breathe. I was able to run. And this idea of kind of being in or being out is something else that resonates for me from your poem, because you're ending with, so I take a walk on the hills. The only matters are the elements of water, air, fire, earth, and space, where I think I matter. I think it's really important for you to say I matter and to say of your life experience, which I know a little bit about, having kind of read an article which I think was for the Iron Bridge kind of festival,
Yes.
where you talk about your life as a child being in the utmost danger, and still we've come through something like this, and you continue to say, I matter, which says to me that we matter.
Of course, that's because when the BBC interviewed me, I was a bit frightened because I didn't want, anybody to say something like especially my family members to scrutinize me, say, why did you say that? So it was so difficult for my story to get the story out. And I didn't want people to think, oh, she's done it for fame, but she's done it for this, that. But I haven't done it for anything. I've just done it for people like me that I want, just because you're disabled or you got something, not, something that's affected your lifestyle. You can do it too. If I've done it, so can you. That's what my message is to the world.
Yeah, and I think it's a really important message. I think a hidden aspect of kind of COVID and lockdown is child killings and abuse
Yeah.
increased. And kind of here I am now talking as a survivor to somebody else who is certainly a survivor.
Yeah. That's what we have to do. Every person on the planet needs, they have to push themselves and do what they want to do rather than being pushed down. But you can't do this because you can't do that. But everything I say, you can do it. Everything you can do it. Yeah. So even though I can't drive, but I think somebody will take me somewhere. So I've got the support around me, and taxis and buses. So it's everything. If you say you can't do it, you won't be able to do it. But if you mentally say you can do it, if something comes up and helps you out, and that's the magic of saying yes, you can.
Yes, so I think Obama said something like that as well. I think that's kind of really kind of positive, that it's something positive to end on. But it's also something I'm thinking about a lot at this point in time. There's an organisation which is looking for articles, and it's ask a question, which is something like, is your impairment a catalyst for your creativity? And I certainly think in my case it is, but I'm also kind of looking at other ways where I've been excluded from opportunities. And as a kind of proud Black countryman who's working class, I feel there's a lot of areas where I've been kind of denied the right to participate. And COVID and lockdown took away a lot of those rights as well.
Yeah, I think the the same with what you're talking about there. It affects me as well because you say it's a catalyst. It is a catalyst. You know, my daughter asked me the other day. She goes, "If you were disabled, Mom, what would you have still written?" I said, "I would. Maybe I would have written, but this disability made me that even more. You know, things that I would never experience as person without parents. So this disability has been the catalyst of my writing. Although also like about normal things as well, like nature, that's in my eyes, everything seems to be different because my perspective is different. As a poet, we all got different perspectives, and to write them down, that's the most important thing because you leave your legacy behind after you've gone.
Yeah, I think your legacy is also as a spoken word poet. I think in the last 12 months you've appeared in really important places and had your say. And I think it's important to have your say.
Of course, without we need to raise our voices because most of people's young lives, when if you haven't got the support in place when you're growing up, your life it matters, but people don't give you that support to rise up. But we all have that that thing in us to give something back to the world.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad you said rise up because I do see myself as an activist and as a kind of poet. And I think those two things together make our messages, our work, are really important.
We are important, and we should never forget that. And I believe that we need to share our thoughts, share our voices, and share our experiences, and most of all, share our love with each other.
Yep, certainly as an activist and as a poet, I feel loved. Wonderful.
Yes, yeah.
And I feel also that my work sometimes comes from love. I can love for myself, can love for my community, and love looking forward to making a change happen.
Yes, that's what we're here for. That's what we were born for. Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree.
But so, finally, for me, I'll soon be talking to Ivan and perhaps a few other people about taking our project further forward and touring with poets from our workshop, touring with people who make music, and sitting inside a screen, which would also show our films. And so a multimedia experience awaits us. Are you feeling able to participate in this?
Yes, if I got the time, and I'm going. It's like madness in my diary at the moment. So if I've got the time, I will. Of course, I will.
So a lot of forward planning is needed then.
Yeah, I got. So I've got every other day. I've got something going on. So
Yeah.
I need a rest in between. So otherwise, I fall apart.
Yeah. But also, if you're unable to participate in person, kind of obviously we have your film of alienated now. Are you okay if we kind of use it as a part of our performances?
Yes, of course, that's fine. I don't mind that.
Excellent. So I'm told that I've got 1 minute and 51 seconds remaining. Can I say thank you for all of your patience with all of the technical issues I've had at my end, for spotting any mistakes I have made, and for participating in our project. As I say, for me, so far, of the work I've seen, whilst your poem is actually quite simple and easy to follow, it is also really dramatic and full of meaning. And so, thank you for everything.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to write that poem in your workshop.
That's okay. Hope you're able to use it. With time rapidly running out. Only thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Take care now.
Thank you.
Bye.